Is anxiety stopping you from moving forward? Does fear get between you and your dreams? Sometimes our own mind is our biggest enemy and actually can stand between us and the things that we really want. And the only way out of that fear, only way out of that anxiety, is to push through it. Everything we want is at the other side of that fear. My name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach. I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse, and I also offer twin flame and spiritual guidance. We can create scenarios, we can create stories, we can create what ifs, and they always slow us down or even stop us completely. This is detrimental. We let our mind overcome us. I mean, this is the battle of the ego versus soul. Like, our old mentality, our caveman mentality, is stopping us from taking risks, stopping us from taking leaps of faith, stopping us from, thinking outside the box even. We're stuck in this conditioning that we have to do things a certain way. If we do things differently, we're going to fucking die. We're not going to die. We think that if we do something that's outside of the norm, what is normal? What's normal for the spider is chaos for the fly. I hate normal. And normal is boring. Do you really want to be like everyone else? We're literally allowing our fear to create inauthenticity because we're not holding our own power. We're not going after the things we desire. There's so many things that we want, so many dreams that we want to fulfill, but we don't ever do them. I remember, before I even understood my fear, I always gave up. The amount of projects I started and then stopped, everything was just too scary, and I never pushed through the fear because I didn't realize everything's at the other side of your fear, and the only way out of fear is through it. That's a fact. Feel the fear and do it anyway. I have so many quotes about fear. But literally, it's face everything and rise. This is it. Fear, face everything and rise. I have learned to push through fear. And it was so hard for me because prior to my relapse, I always let fear get in the way. But when I had my relapse, I actually had a fear-based entity attached to me. So I was in a constant state of fear. I couldn't leave my house. I couldn't step outside. I live in the countryside. I would let my dogs out and shut the door, and I'd be scared to even look outside. And I used to spend hours outside in the dark looking at the stars. I wasn't the things I was afraid of, I wasn't afraid of before. And I noticed that we can develop fears for things that we've actually already done and succeeded at. And it took me a long time to overcome that fear-based entity. It took me a long time. I remember when I started to discover that you have to push through fear. You can't sit there and will yourself to be fearless. You can't do every meditation under the sun and say, I'm not afraid today. Meditation does help, but unless you do the thing that scares you, you're not actually going to overcome the fear. For me, standing outside, I live in nature, and nature is healing, but the entity attached to me literally prevented me from going out in nature because that would have helped me heal. So I had to start to force myself to go outside. So I remember standing in the middle of my yard going, oh God, it's so scary. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. Genuinely in fear, going everyone's watching you, everyone's judging you. My neighbours can't even see into my garden. Do you know what I mean? I live in the countryside. No one can see me. But I was literally standing there going, I'm being judged, everyone can see me. I was literally in this state of anxiety, but I knew I had to stand there, I had to overcome the fear. And then when I was standing there, I started to get flashbacks of sitting in my garden. Usually I'll sit on my deck, which is more kind of covered than where I was standing. And I was just I used to sit out here, I used to chase the sun to the middle of the yard, to literally sit in the middle of the yard open to everyone to see. And I was just I've done this before. Why am I so scared of something I've already done? And this was because, as I said, I was consumed with that fear-based entity, but I also started to realize the only way I can actually overcome my fears is do the things that I'm afraid to do. And this, I still suffer lately, right? Okay, I still, prior to my relapse, right, and when I started to discover my spiritual awakening, but the law of attraction, I had to retrain my brain. So I was a very pessimistic person. And that is based on fear. It's anxiety, and it's if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. So I was prepared for the worst, and everything was negative, and it was oh, this is just a bad luck cycle all the time. So I was literally, I feared everything. I always was the what ifs, what if this happens, what if something bad happens, what if this happens, And so when I started to learn the law of attraction, I realized like attracts like. So you have to start to be positive. So I had to really brainwash myself into positivity. And I did this. And my friends at the time, nicknamed me an optimistic orange. Do you know what I mean? I was just so optimistic. I was like, everything works out. There's a solution to every problem. Whereas my previous energy was, everything goes wrong, or if it was Murphy's Law, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. That was my motto before. But after awakening and after learning the law of attraction, I was like, there's a solution to every problem. But then with my relapse and the actual fear that consumed me, I could not do anything. And everything seemed like the whole energy of caveman mentality, go outside the cave and you get killed by a saber-tooth tiger. Everything I did, I barely left the house. I couldn't stand outside. I didn't go out in nature. I went to the shop only to do my shopping. I'd only go into one shop every week, and I was just, my energy was depleted. I was in an awful state. So I had to really start to rebuild myself and my energy. But like I've noticed over the last couple of years, I've been slowly but surely building myself up and overcoming that fear. But I still notice it. And like the last few weeks, I've been going through some things, and I've been really anxious about certain things. And I've done the things I've been anxious about. And then I come out the other side and I'm like, why was I even scared? Like, obviously I've learned the hard way that everything I feared is something I actually want to do. So projects that I started, you know, I remember like having this aversion to tech. It was a fear. It was a fear of tech. It was like, literally, I can't do anything. But every time I start to do a bit of writing or do a bit of this or do a bit of that, I'd be like, why didn't I do this yesterday? We spend so much time in anxiety, worrying about the project, worrying about the endeavor, worrying about this, worrying about that. And then when we finally do it, we're relieved and we succeed. And I literally sit there going, I wasted so much time and energy being anxious about something I didn't need to be anxious about. Will Smith has this quote, fear is a choice. We are choosing to fear something that's not real, that may not ever even happen. I'm not saying this right, but you know what I'm saying. So we're choosing something that's not even real and that may not even happen. You know, we're literally creating these scenarios in our head, and we're great storytellers. Like, we really are. We can build this whole story about what's going to go wrong. And then like you do the thing and it's like everything really went right. And you're like, what was I worried about? I gave myself stress and anxiety for 2 weeks for certain things that I was doing. And I did the thing and I'm like, why was I scared? I'm relieved now. But my nervous system was so hyper, or, you know, it just intense. It just felt so off balance. And I realized, like, I didn't have to be scared. And I'm looking back over the last couple of years as I've been pushing through my fears, as I've been overcoming certain things. And the only time I felt relief was after I did the thing. And I'm like, everything is rigged in our favor. We should be living life like everything is rigged in our favor, because life attracts like, if you believe it's going to work out, it's going to work out. Now, oftentimes our fears manifest if we allow them to. And they will actually create the scenario we fear the most. So this is why we have to take control of our fears. Like, you know, if we allow fear to control us, it keeps us stuck. It keeps us from taking risks. It keeps us from taking chances. That new career, starting your own business, entering into a new relationship. So like for the relationship, for example, this is it, right? Okay, I'm going to show you ways to question yourself or question the fear. So for example, you want to get into a new relationship. Your past relationships were toxic. You were abused by narcissistic energies. You were controlled, all this kind of stuff. So yes, you're going to have a massive fear about moving forward. But this is one thing I say. You fearing allowing yourself into a new relationship means that your ex is actually still controlling you. I've often said that. So the only way to actually cut the cord with your ex is to move forward. But ask yourself these questions. Is this new person anything like my ex? If you can answer no to that, then your fear isn't real. Ask yourself this question. Are you the same person who entered a relationship like that? Because when you entered that relationship, you were unhealed and you had trauma, but you've grown and healed and become stronger because of it. So are you a stronger person, and is this person different? 2 reasons why your fear isn't real. When it comes to career, you might want to start your own business, but everyone around you is saying no. you're going to fail, you have to stay in the box. And you keep saying stuff like, oh, I'm too scared to leave the boss, the place I'm in, they need me, or this, that, the other. There's certain things that keep coming on. You get these little stories. It's like, I can't go because it's a handy job. It's fine. My boss is fine. Even though you're working for a narcissistic boss, it's like, oh, it's only 15 minutes down the road. It's easy. It's all this. I'd rather suffer through a shitty boss than actually move forward. These are all your little fears coming in saying, hey, don't do this. This is your ego coming in going, don't do that. Like I say, like, your comfort zone. It's like, every time I say I'm going to do something new, it's like my fear or my comfort zone comes in and goes, don't go outside today. Sit under the blanket. Stay there forever. Oh, stay under your little blanket forever. And that's effectively what we do. If we let fear get in our way, if we let fear win and control us, we're literally saying, I'm not going to live my life and I'm going to exist here underneath this little comfort blanket where everything is the same and everything will always be the same. And you know what happens when you like literally stay in the same energy? You attract the same shit. So like you're literally afraid, like you being so afraid of letting the right person in, you'll end up actually attracting in the wrong person. So you'll end up repeating bad patterns because you're not actually venturing outside of the comfort zone. What is it? There's another fear-based quote. Is like the cave you or the cave you fear to enter is where all your dreams are. Something like that. Oh jeez, I can't remember. But you get me. Like you're afraid to move forward, but that's where your dreams are. Do you know what I mean? Like your dreams, your desires, everything you've ever wanted is at the other side of your fear. Like it is like, and I love how I know I still have things to work on. And I know I still, like, it's only this week that I've literally kind of, like, I'm always working on it. I'm always kind of asking myself, this is it, right? When we spiral in thoughts, that's when fear turns into anxiety, when we can literally spiral. So, like, we have to, like, I've likened this before to, do you know those baseball machines or tennis ball machines that spit out the ball? And if you're not looking and it's going too fast, they're going to hit you in the fucking face. Whereas you have to catch the first ball, the second ball, whatever. So your fear-based thoughts and your fear-based energy or your anxiety, it's literally that first ball. If you don't hit that first ball, you're going to be bombarded with tens of millions of balls and you're going to be consumed with fear and anxiety. Catch it off guard. Catch the first one and say, are you real or are you based on a past experience? Is this fear genuine? Like, like the scenarios we create in our mind, it's like, this is going to go wrong. This isn't going to work out. I'm going to fail, all this kind of stuff. And you're like, no, like everything that I've been fearing lately, as I said, I've mastered the ability to push through the fear because everything I want to do, I know I want to do it. Do you know what I mean? So I understand myself well enough now to say, this is a good thing for me. And this is where introspection and self-awareness comes in as well. Ask yourself the questions. Is the thing you fear, is this fear coming in to protect you, as in, say, this is dangerous, don't do this? Or is your fear trying to keep you stuck in that cave, under that comfort blanket saying, don't go out, don't take risks, because then you won't get hurt? And this is the thing, this is even like about letting people in. This is one for me, like I keep my heart very, I've been trying to keep my heart open, but my heart goes into very closed off mode every so often. So I can disconnect from people very easily. And I can go, like, because I've learned to do it alone for such a long time that I still get fear when it comes to allowing people into my life. And I keep saying to myself, like, I have this stretchy energy. It's like, I really want connection. I want people. I love people. I love being around people. I love it. But I'm afraid to lose my codependency again. And that's based on my past experiences, right? So I'm like literally asking myself, right, I have to fight with this all the time. It's like, am I today wanting my independence? Or am I today want a fear of being codependent? So what I mean is, like, am I being triggered because I need my peace? Or am I being triggered because I'm afraid to let somebody in? Do you get me? So, like, this is what I go through all the time. It's like, I want my space, but I want people. I want my space, but I want people. And then I have to ask myself, what is going on here? Am I holding back because I want peace, or am I holding back because I'm afraid to be hurt? And a lot of it is the fear. So I ask myself, I go within every single time and I ask myself, is this for me or am I afraid for a bigger reason? So like, it's all about understanding how your body feels. So if you feel good about the situation, if that person sets your soul on fire, if that job opportunity or business opportunity really creates a spark within you, and then all of a sudden you're just like, oh no, I can't do that. You have to listen to the original excitement. Do you know, like for example, so I'll compare fear to somebody else's reaction. So like if you get excited about something, really excited about something, and then you tell somebody who's not on this journey with you that you're going to think outside the box, that you're going to start this new endeavor, and then they turn around and they shit all over it, they smash your glass, and they're like, oh, you can't do that, oh Jesus, don't do that, and you get back and you're like, oh my God, oh maybe you're right, I was wrong to be excited, I wasn't real at all. So you end up going back and reverting back into this fear-based energy because of what somebody else said. This happens all the time, especially when we're on the awakening journey and the people around us aren't. But our mind can be just like those negative people. Our ego, our old mentality, our old system is just like those negative people. So if you're getting such a real excitement for something, oh my God, it fills you with such joy. And then all of a sudden your mind goes, yeah, but what if this happens? This won't work out. You can't afford that. Oh, geez, no. That's too scary. Stay in your box. Stay under the blanket. Do you know what I mean? That is false fear. That isn't fear trying to protect you from danger. That's fear trying to protect you from living, or trying to prevent you from living. And that's a fact. So you really have to feel yourself through it. That's the way to put it. Like, even though I've been in high anxiety over the last couple of weeks over certain things, I've still pushed through the fear. And I got into the end going, what was I fucking this afraid of? Oh my God. And I'm like, this is after flipping a switch for me. And I'm back in the energy of everything is rigged in my favor. Everything is rigged in my favor. Because even though, like, when we're consumed with fear, when we allow fear to turn into excessive anxiety, then we can manifest our fears big time. But I have been learning and strong enough lately to know that my fears aren't real and I can push through them. Doesn't really alleviate the anxiety until I do the thing. But now I'm kind of in the energy of, I want to go back to being an optimistic orange. I want to go back to being in the energy of, this shit's going to work. There's a solution to every problem. And there is. Oh my God, there is. Like, after learning that, like, before my relapse, literally I was the kind of person who said, there's no such thing as problems anymore. It literally is a redirection, or learning something else, or learning from your mistakes, or doing something better next time. If something is removed, something better will enter. And this is it. If something changes plans, or something goes a little differently, it's just redirection. It's literally saying, this isn't going to work on this specific moment, but it will work tomorrow, or it will work the next day, or it will work this time. So instead of, like, you know, allowing ourselves to kind of go, oh, it's the end of the world that this is happening. Like, literally say, this is okay. I'm okay with this. I'm comfortable with this. I understand this. Getting control of your fear, overpowering your fear, understanding your fear. This is the big step. Your fear is not real. It's based on a past situation. And as I said, a lot of the fears I've been going through lately, I'm afraid of stuff that I've already done. And it's just like, why did I redevelop a fear? And I've done this before. Like, you know, I remember at one stage, I was afraid of certain things, and then I wasn't afraid of them, and then I was again. And then I had to keep reminding myself, I wasn't afraid of this before. How wasn't I afraid of it before? Like, these were actual phobias, like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, how did I overcome a phobia, but then rephobia or whatever, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I, like, literally, I kind of used that as my anchor. I was like, there was a time in my life that I wasn't afraid to do this, or I was afraid to do it, but I still did it and I didn't fail. You see, I was kind of allowing my fear to say, you did these things before and it didn't work out. You can't do it again. And I'm like, looking back, and I'm like reminded then, I'm like, I did these things before and I didn't actually fail. I succeeded, but then I relapsed because of some other circumstances. So it's like, I didn't actually fail like I thought I did. So why am I afraid of things that I've succeeded at before? And I'm like, is any of this fear actually real, or is it just trying to keep me stuck in my comfort zone? And it is. My literal comfort zone, and my ego mind is literally going, get back under that fucking blanket. Don't you dare get outside this house. Don't you dare live your life. Don't you dare take risks. Like, my ego thinks it's protecting me. There's no saber-toothed tiger outside. You know what I mean? Like, fuck off, ego. Do you know what I mean? I have to start listening to my soul. And ego is fear. Soul is truth. So feel it in your body before you let the forget fear for a minute. What does it feel like to imagine doing the thing you're afraid of? Not imagining the fear part, obviously. What does it feel like to have succeeded at this thing? To have called in this relationship that's successful? To create this business, this life purpose that's successful? What does it feel like at the other side of the fear? What does it do to you? What does it feel like in your soul and your heart? What does that really feel like? Forget your fear for a minute, forget your anxiety. This dream you have, this goal you have, what does it really feel like for you? And if the doubts start creeping in, knock them away with your baseball bat, whatever, your tennis racket. Get the fuck rid of them. Do you know what I mean? Literally say to yourself, I will not let fear stop me from being happy, because that's what it's doing. Fear, like, as I said already, when we push through the fear and do the thing, we were like excited. Oh my God, I did this. I'm so excited. But you realized you wasted so much of your time in anxiety and in pain and in struggle when you didn't need to, because you didn't have the power over your fears. And the only way to gain power over your fears is to push through them. The only way out is through. And I promise you, when you actually go through the thing that you're scared to do, you will realize, man, this is something I always wanted to do. This is something I really, like, why did I stop myself for so long? So don't put your life on hold. Don't put love on hold. Don't put purpose on hold because you're afraid. Because who cares if you fail? Like, you're not going to fail anyway, because obviously if it's your divine purpose in your divine relationship, it actually has no other option but to succeed. But if we fail, we learn how to do something differently, or we're just being redirected to another time or another project, or another endeavor. Like, you know what I mean? And like, the whole concept of better to have loved and lost than never loved at all. It's better to have tried. The only, like, do or do not, there is no try. It's like the only way we fail is if we don't try. So don't live with regret of not trying. Don't live with regret of being afraid. Just do it. And just do it. Like, the experience in itself is something that is a win. You know what I mean? Pushing through fear, that's a win. You're always going to succeed if you try. So don't let fear overpower your life. Don't let the fear of the past overpower you. Don't let past relationships, past trauma control your life now. Push through the fear, feel the fear, and do it anyway. And I promise you'll be happy that you did. You'll have no regrets if you actually just try. Don't give up. Don't go back. Don't keep yourself stuck. Move forward. Move through that fear. And I promise the sun is shining at the other side of it. So thank you so much for listening today, and I really hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. If you'd like help on your journey, please book me for a free discovery call today. There's nothing more than to help in your path. Also, I have another channel called Aligning with Angie, where I share guided meditation every week. The info for that is below. And I'm hosting a free feminine empowerment workshop today at 6 p.m. Ireland UK time. If you want info for that, please comment below. I don't know, did I say that the Aligning with Angie page is in the description box? I don't know if I said that. But yeah, if you want info for the workshop, comment below.